Imagine this: you step into a strange room and lock eyes with someone entirely new. No introductions, no reason to connect, yet something in that gaze makes your heart skip a beat. It's not because they're stunning, not because they said something extraordinary, but because you feel as though you've known them before, somewhere, in another lifetime. You can't explain it. All you know is, you don't want to leave. We often call this destiny, serendipity, a soul connection, but through the lens of Carl Jung, the great analytical psychologist, this is what he calls a resonance of the unconscious energies. And such resonance is never random. It is the external echo of an inner transformation already unfolding within you. You meet someone, not because you're lucky, but because you're ready to see yourself through another's eyes, ready to confront the forgotten parts of your soul, ready to love, not out of desire, but from awareness. In this article, we'll explore 9 profound truths through Carl Jung's philosophy that may help you understand why do some people enter your life as if it were predestined, what makes a certain connection feel so unusually magnetic that it's impossible to walk away, and how can you discern the difference between emotional dependency and an awakened kind of love. If you've ever met someone and thought, this can't be a coincidence, stay with us. Perhaps your soul is waiting to be called by name. 1. Resonance doesn't come from logic, but from energetic alignment. There are moments in life when you meet someone and instantly feel as though you've known them forever. There's no logical explanation, no rational reason, yet a deep sense emerges, as if your soul has just been stirred awake. Carl Jung called this phenomenon unconscious resonance, where the energy of two souls meets and recognizes each other, not through the mind, but through sensation. According to studies in transpersonal psychology, this state of consciousness linkage, where two people seem to tap into a shared depth of connection, often occurs during emotionally charged moments, a crisis, a shared vulnerability, or an unspoken sense of empathy. It's when the heart hears a signal the mind hasn't yet decoded. Modern neuroscience affirms this. 2. Our nervous system functions like an invisible receiver, picking up subtle cues, eye contact, tone of voice, breathing rhythms, and if the person in front of you vibrates at a similar energetic frequency, your limbic system, the emotional brain, instantly synchronizes. The result, an unexplainable sense of closeness. Not every resonance leads to lifelong love, but one thing is certain: when two souls meet through this kind of energetic alignment, they never forget each other, because it wasn't the reason that brought them together, it was the deepest part of their being. 2. Synchronicity. When a meeting is a reflection of inner transformation, have you ever wondered why certain people show up just when you're going through a crisis, a transition, or a turning point? According to Carl Jung, this is not mere coincidence. It's a manifestation of synchronicity, what he called a meaningful coincidence. It's when the universe sends you a person as a direct response to something shifting silently within you. Jung defines synchronicity as the occurrence of two seemingly unrelated events that have no causal connection, yet hold profound meaning when placed side by side. In relationships, synchronicity often appears as seemingly random encounters that end up altering the trajectory of your life. That person doesn't come to make you happy, they come to awaken you. It could be a lover sent to help you heal, a friend who sheds light on a part of yourself you've long denied, or even a rival who drags out your shadows so you can face them. Whatever their role, they are part of the process Jung called individuation, the journey back to your true self. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay, but every soul that crosses your path arrives with purpose. Synchronicity is not random chance. It is the universe responding to your soul at the exact moment you are ready to transform. It's not because they're stunning, not because they said something extraordinary, but because you feel as though you've known them before, somewhere, in another lifetime. You can't explain it. All you know is, you don't want to leave. We often call this destiny, serendipity, a soul connection, but through the lens of Carl Jung, the great analytical psychologist, this is what he calls a resonance of the unconscious energies. And such resonance is never random. It is the external echo of an inner transformation already unfolding within you. You meet someone, not because you're lucky, but because you're ready to see yourself through another's eyes, ready to confront the forgotten parts of your soul, ready to love, not out of desire, but from awareness. In this article, we'll explore 9 profound truths through Carl Jung's philosophy that may help you understand. Why do some people enter your life as if it were predestined? What makes a certain connection feel so unusually magnetic that it's impossible to walk away? And how can you discern the difference between emotional dependency and an awakened kind of love? If you've ever met someone and thought, this can't be a coincidence, stay with us. Perhaps your soul is waiting to be called by name. 3. Archetypal images in the unconscious are the magnets of connection. Carl Jung once said, within us lies an entire universe of archetypal images, and it is these images that govern how we love, hate, and connect. When you meet a stranger and feel as if you've known them from a past life, it's not an illusion. It's the moment an archetypal image in your unconscious is awakened. Perhaps it's the mother, the savior, the wanderer, or even the shadow. Every person you're intensely drawn to is reflecting back a deep symbolic pattern that your psyche already carries. Why does your heart race for someone who hasn't even done anything yet? Because they match an inner symbol within you, like two puzzle pieces snapping into place. This connection doesn't arise from logic. It comes from the depth of the unconscious. Jung called this the mechanism of inner recognition. When an archetype is activated through someone else, you don't just find them attractive, you feel more complete. But this, too, is a double-edged sword, because if you fall in love only because they reflect something you lack, it becomes easy to idealize them and to be disappointed once reality sets in. True love is not about finding someone who fits your ideal. It's about becoming aware of what that ideal represents within yourself and learning to love someone as they are, not as the image you projected. 4. Deep connections aren't always comfortable. They're often soul-shaking. We often think of soulmate love as serene, tender, and perfectly aligned, but Carl Jung pointed out something radically different. The deepest connections don't arrive to soothe you. They arrive to awaken you. You know you're truly connected with someone, not when everything is smooth, but when they shake you from within. Suddenly, questions you've avoided surface. Old wounds start to ache again. You feel seen completely, and there's nowhere left to hide. Why? Because they're not interacting with your social mask or carefully curated persona. They're touching something much deeper. The wounded inner child, the unacknowledged shadow, the buried longing you've been too afraid to name, and that can feel incredibly uncomfortable. Many people mistake comfort for compatibility, but Jung said, the people who stir your soul the most are often the ones who arrive to awaken you. They don't come to complete you. They come to confront you with yourself, to initiate your journey of inner healing. If you're in a connection that both captivates and terrifies you, don't run away just yet. Ask yourself, what is this person reflecting within me? What part of me is ready to be awakened? You may not need to keep them forever, but if you're brave enough to face yourself through them, you will never be the same. 5. Some people don't come to stay, they come to awaken you. Not everyone who walks into your life is meant to journey with you to the end. Some people come into your life simply to awaken you. Carl Jung referred to these individuals as the awakeners, souls orchestrated by the universe to activate a pivotal shift in your path toward growth. They may appear as a fleeting lover, a passing friend, or even someone who breaks your heart completely. But after they show up, you are no longer the same person. They might be the ones who made you question your self-worth for the first time, the one who showed you you've been giving too much, the one who jolted you awake from a life where you'd forgotten your true self. Their presence initiates the process of individuation, Jung's term for the journey each of us must take to become who we truly are. They're not meant to be lifelong companions. They are the ones who open the door, and once their role is complete, letting go is not a failure, it's wisdom. Don't cling to a connection just because it once meant everything. Instead, ask, what did this person help me see within myself? And if the lesson has been learned, you have the right to move forward. They came to ignite your inner light, but only you can keep it burning. 6. When energies no longer resonate, your relationship becomes heavy. Have you ever been close to someone who once meant everything, but then one day, being around them becomes exhausting? You try to talk, but the connection is gone. You compromise, but feel depleted, and you can't quite explain why. Carl Jung explained this through the principle of energetic alignment. When the frequencies of two souls no longer resonate, the relationship loses its vitality. A relationship can only remain alive when both people are evolving, moving together toward the light. But when only one person changes, while the other remains stuck in old patterns, An invisible distance begins to grow. What once inspired you now feels like pressure. What once was shared joy now feels like a burden. This heaviness is not a sign of betrayal. It's a message from your soul. It's saying, you've evolved, and this connection no longer aligns with who you're becoming. Jung reminded us, letting go of someone doesn't mean you no longer love them. It means you respect your own evolution. Sometimes, the bravest honesty is not in holding on, but in admitting that our frequencies are change. You don't know anyone, the version of yourself you've outgrown. Every path has its turning points, and the courage to continue forward is the highest form of loyalty you can offer to your soul. 7. You attract what reflects your inner world. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I keep attracting the same type of person, the same kind of relationship? They may look different on the surface, but the pain feels hauntingly familiar. This isn't bad luck, it's a reflection of your inner world. Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. We don't just attract what we desire, we attract what we are. If there are wounds within you that have not yet been healed, you will draw in people who touch those exact wounds, not to punish you, but to reveal them so they can be healed. The universe doesn't always send you an ideal partner. It sends you the necessary one, the one who makes you face the shadows, feelings of unworthiness, emotional dependence, fear of abandonment. So when you ask, why did they treat me that way? Also ask, what are they reflecting in me that I haven't yet seen? Every relationship is a mirror. And when you're courageous enough to look clearly at what's being reflected, you begin to break free from the loop and start rewriting your own story. 8. Inner work, the key to real love. Everyone longs to be loved, but few understand that the deepest love doesn't come from finding the right person. It comes from becoming the right self. Carl Jung called this journey individuation, the process of integrating all the fragmented parts of your psyche, both shadow and light, to become whole. This is inner work, and it is the foundation for authentic love. You cannot enter a healthy relationship while still carrying unhealed wounds, because if you do, love becomes a form of escape, not growth. You will seek someone to fill your emptiness, to rescue you, to make you feel enough, instead of someone to simply walk beside you. Doing inner work means healing the wounded child within, facing your fear of abandonment, your pain of rejection, your shame, and every part of your ego still left unseen. When you heal, you no longer need love to prove your worth. You love not to be loved back, but because you are full enough to give. And that's the greatest shift. From lack to abundance, from demanding to offering, from fear to freedom. 9. When two whole souls meet, love becomes elevation, not dependency. There is nothing more beautiful than when two people come together, not because they need each other to survive, but because they choose to grow together. This is when love shifts, from scarcity to abundance, from entanglement to freedom, from fear of loss to readiness to let go if necessary. When two souls have done their inner work, they don't enter love as missing pieces waiting to be completed. They arrive as whole beings, ready to harmonize. They don't impose, don't possess, don't control. Each has their own space to flourish, to express their authentic self, and that freedom becomes the root of profound trust. The love between two emotionally mature people is not a fairy tale. It is a spiritual partnership. They may not always agree, but they always walk in the same direction. Evolution, growth, conscious love. Carl Jung once said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. True love begins, not when two people find each other, but when each has already found themselves. And when love is about elevation rather than burden, you don't just have a relationship, you have a sanctuary for the soul. According to Carl Jung, the people who enter your life are not merely chance encounters. They are vivid manifestations of the unconscious. They appear to activate something within you, a part that has been forgotten, a part that needs healing, a part waiting to awaken. Some people come to teach you how to love. Some come to show you the fears you've been avoiding. Some come to lead you back to yourself. Personally, I believe the deepest form of love is not about forever. It's about becoming your truest self through that connection. Maybe they don't stay, but they fulfilled their sacred purpose, to awaken your soul. In the end, remember, not every connection is meant to be held onto. Not everyone who touches you deeply is your life partner, but every one of them is a guide. You don't need to chase love. Turn inward and heal. You don't need to find the right person. become the right self, and when two whole souls meet, nothing can keep them apart.